Welcome back to my YouTube. I'm Alan Cook, the proud owner of the Dion painting that is everybody's talking about. This is one of the images in which is of 1 inch off the canvas out of 719 photo shots that is shot with a 100 megapixel camera. And this is not all of it. This is just a portion of it. So let me talk about this particular piece to let you know. I'm going to scoot this over a little. Well, let me get a little room here. And I'll scoot this over because we need every bit for Leonardo Da Vinci's work. I got a humongous screen and it's still not big enough. I need an actual movie theater. I swear. And I only think that's probably even a quarter the size that really needs to be. Nor is the camera in which we shot it. Let me show you how he hides his work within. The images in which I've been showing you for almost 150 YouTubes, you can see the face right here. And within this face, there's a body running this way. And then there's like a tiger. And then there's a cone head. And there's a reason why for the cone head. He was gay. And the symbol is that he, back then they were running around like high-class women from 100 years prior that used to wear them and show off their clothing. And that was one of his gigs in which he had done in some of his shows in this painting. And what I mean by that, and it's been probably really getting around, if you see all these little micro specks, these little images and these white deals, some of the white deals I haven't, but you can see here this face, and the odds are is you can see there's a heart here, and within this heart you see a happy face and a dot and a dot. They're cartoons. A lot of these are cartoons, but when you get deeper into them, they're portraits, and then when you get deeper into them, they're cartoons again under different layers. Like, this is a hat, but that's only a portion of a hat. So, you can see how this resembles somewhat as a tiger or a lion with Indian head feathers and the body running on down. And then what he does is he cheats again. If you see how it simulates the straight line across here, he's flying. See, here he is up on top, flying this way. But that's not the only way, I'm sure. Because knowing him, look at this. He's looking this way, and he's flying that way. Leonardo Da Vinci loved to play, and he was a cartoonist. And I'm going to show you, like, here's the face. Here's other images in here that are of like a party that's all the way around. Here's a person with an arm hanging out. I'm sure you see, look at all these people. They're in a surround. Now you see this green, and you see the black, and you see the red. Okay? Now, this is the trick. It gets really hard. I stared at this for 10 hours for 10 weeks and got nowhere to understand where is he coming from on his art and his words. What you may see, let's say, of this gentleman with the head and his arm hanging, and he's aiming this way with his arm up in his hand. And look at it. On the tip of his hand is another face. Okay. Well, this green, each particular piece is something. Like, there's the head. Here's the feet. Here's the feet. Here's the feet. Here's the feet. But in between the feet, he decides to put a nose. Okay? And he throws the mouth sideways, and within that mouth is another person. Now, we're talking probably this piece is Oh, well, I don't know. Small. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you how it turns just slightly and how everything changes. See how everything changes so much? Because his art's different. Because each moment of each change, and I'm doing a big change which I shouldn't have. Each moment of each change, this guy looks different. His hand don't look out as much. His hand's over here too. And his body's more curved like he's sitting because I didn't see it the way it was turned. Then this kind of looks like a fish with the guy with a sailing hat aiming and going this way. But you actually see another person aiming and going this way. Then he's got a cartoon going, looking that way, but his eye is also looking backwards. And I'm going to turn some more. Look at, I'm going to turn, look at that. Ready? Boom. What do you see? Come on, if you got art in you. Look at it. Another character. Okay? The character is changed out of the same guy. What's on his top hat? Another character. Okay? And this big old piece in here is a person looking. And this big old piece is a person looking that way. And this person right here is looking this way, and it's looking boom, boom at me. Okay. So here's an eye, here's an eye, here's a nose, here's a mouth. Okay? And within this particular, then there's an eye and an eye and a nose on top of what we just said. He's a pyramid builder. Here's the snout of the nose of a horse and goes. He will never stop. We have this thing called wasting a post-it. You take your post-its for information of what phone number that you want to write down that somebody called or some message, and you wrinkle it up after you're done and you throw it away. Well, if there's room on anything, Leonardo Da Vinci's gonna put it. It's awesome. I mean, I could stare at this piece for a solid year and still probably couldn't cover more than. I'd be devastated if I covered more than 20%. There's that much more info in it, because maybe not even 10%, because what we see here is only on the top. He's got probably another 10, 20 more layers plus his knitting underneath. Then you have to get into what this is. You see this, what you see in here? Here's like a ghost and whatnot. That's probably an L, and it's two L's, and it's also like a bear, but this is also a head upside down on the bear, and what else could it be? A backwards F. So he's spelling something out here, and when you say, how's those are letters? Because he hid it in code. Now, here looks kind of like a big, funny cartoon cow with big ears. Well, if that's going to be two L's and a cow, what is it in Italian? A cow spelt with a C that kind of looks upside down light bulb, which he didn't have a light bulb. He's probably thinking of a light bulb with two L's, so well, you got a coal? I don't know. Or maybe it's L-L-I-C-O, or maybe there's an I in here, or maybe that's an N, because his N's vary very slightly like that. But you've got to also understand that when you end up with a portrait with Leo, let's say that's the portrait, this particular, here's the eye and the face and the nose, and let's say, and that's a totem pole. When you end up with it and you start blowing it up, you'll find out there's a letter underneath there, and then you'll see the cartoon, then you'll see the portrait, then you see the cartoon, then you see a number, and it goes on. He's letting you know what that person is called. That's how he, and so all of a sudden you come along and you see an elephant. Well, that's so-and-so, or that's Pepe, or that's Sali, or that's Melzi Francisca, or that so happens to be Leonardo da Vinci, or that so happens to be the one and all, or the whole group he throws in there. That's how many people were invited to the party. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds very hard to try to understand. I'm going to get it better. You can forgive me that I can't draw out the great genius's way of explaining. And I don't know if he told me when I'm in heaven that if he was to tell me now that I can comprehend on being here on earth, but when I'm in heaven, I'm sure God will hopefully help me understand him. God bless the whole world, universe, and the heavens. Say your prayers. Thank you for the thumbs up. Good night.